Almar Orchards near Flushing, Michigan started in the early 1900s by Albert Koan Sr., a fruit farmer who supplied the area with produce all his farming life. His son, Albert Jr., with his wife Mary, continued that service, and today his grandson Jim Koan carries on the family farm. Of the 400 acres today, 150 are in organic apple orchards. For 20 years, Jim was a conventional grower, a user of integrated pest management, and a limited user of chemicals. He found if he sprayed for a pest, it would take out good predators, and soon after, other pests would show up. So he decided to start with 20 acres and a few varieties and go organic.
I was a little surprised that it was a little easier to do than I thought it was. But I realized after the fact that it was not just an immediate decision, it was an evolutionary process, if you will, to get to that point where the transition was pretty easy. So from there, over the course of several years, I transitioned all the orchards into organic. Now it's kind of like refinding religion or something like that, where I feel very strongly that it is a good way for some growers, not all growers, to grow fruit. You have to be a certain size and have a very good understanding of the microenvironment that you're growing your apples in.
IPM continues as a tool on the farm. For 15 years, Jim's been using red cups covered in tanglefoot to control apple maggot. And he has Berkshire pigs on the farm to control plum curculio. The insect burrows into the apple, causing it to drop early. Instead of allowing the larvae to mature inside the apple, the pigs eat them in a few short days, while at the same time fattening up on an organic diet. When Jim has an issue or a new idea, he works with Matthew Greshop, Associate Professor of Organic Pest Management at Michigan State. The first project they worked on together was hog integration. Others soon followed, with knowledge shared in both directions.
Since then, we've done work in mating disruption, we've done work in scab management and strip cultivation. Jim has really taught me a lot about horticulture as an entomologist. I know more about six-legged things than trees, quite frankly, and Jim's done his best to educate me in those areas. My career certainly wouldn't be where it is today were it not for the help and the scholarship that Jim has really shared with me.
Jim says he couldn't be successful without his wife Karen. Raised a city girl in a very large family, he says she brought to the relationship what he was never exposed to. He calls it the widening of his narrow mind.
Jim Koan has been a huge success for me. It's to be toggled to, but at the same time, it's a very bitter, disappointing fact that I've never been able to successfully teach him anything. Every year he promises me he's going to slow down and he's going to stop planting apples trees. And every year he plants more and more, and he goes at a faster pace. He thrives on it.
Jim told his 5 kids they were to get degrees and find jobs off the farm. If after they wanted to come back, the farm would always be there. The youngest of the Koan children is Jacob, currently studying sustainable and organic horticulture at MSU. He didn't always want to work on the farm, for he felt he did enough of that as a kid, but he eventually saw the light, so to speak, and is now, as he puts it, his dad's second-hand man.
I really don't like going and commuting back to school every morning. I kind of miss it as soon as I get on the road and start driving away, because basically, I want to be here. I want to take over. I want to continue my parents' legacy. Everything they've done, I want to expand on it and make the orchard and everything bigger and better.
Zachary Koan is the middle child. After getting his packaging degree and working off the farm, he came back to run the hard cider operation. Just about every one of the roughly 30 varieties of apples grown at Almar Orchards goes into the production of their award-winning beverage known as J.K.'s Scrumpy. They're bottling 4 versions year-round, depending upon the season. There's Northern Neighbor, Winterruption, Summer, and their mainstay, Farmhouse Organic. And why the name J.K. Scrumpy? Depends who you ask.
JK stands for Jim Koan, or my mom thinks it stands for Jim and Karen. And Scrumpy is a European word for a really rough farmhouse cider. Sometimes it can have a little bit of a tinge of vinegar to it. but basically it's just kind of a rough cider made out of pretty much whatever apples you have on hand at the time.
Fermentation takes place in 3,000-gallon vats. No artificial flavors or colors are used, and no sulfite or preservatives of any kind. Once bottled, they allow it to age for several weeks to be properly conditioned before drinking. Currently, the Koans are pressing apples, bottling hard cider, jugging fresh cider, and pasteurizing while dodging forklifts and loading 18-wheelers in a confined area. So they've constructed a new building on site, which will soon help to better manage their operations. The oldest of the 5 kids is Monique. She has her doctorate in analytical chemistry from MSU and teaches part-time at Lansing Community College. When the need for a new accountant arose on the farm, she applied for the job and today is managing the books and handling the marketing.
I think that this makes my dad the happiest he's ever been, because really all 3 of us made this decision after we more or less went out into the world. And it makes the business aspect of this so much better for us because we all want to be here. Not one of us feels like we were pushed into this. And what makes it even better is that each one of us has different strengths and we're playing on those.
Nestled in the woods just off one of the orchards in a wonderfully serene setting is the resting place of Jim's parents, Albert and Mary Koan. One of the last things Jim told his father before he passed away at the age of 90 in April of 2013 was not to worry about the farm. Albert was thrilled to know that the next generation, his grandchildren, were taking over the family operation with the potential for future generations to do the same. For his dedication to his family, to their business, and to their farm, the Michigan State Horticultural Society awards their 2013 Distinguished Service Award to Jim Koan.